For $5, I bought this 2007 MacBook Pro. It only has one problem. For $5 more, I was able to buy a parted out second unit from 2008. Now, I fired this one up and the screen as well as the logic board seemed to work. Other parts, including the fans and the DC inboard, seem to work as well. I think the obvious choice is to replace the broken screen on this MacBook Pro with the working screen on this one. Now, there's a pretty big crater here in the lid. It's kind of hard to see it, but that crack, the origin, is right under that dent. I figure somebody must have dropped something on this. It's kind of interesting to see a display cracked from the backside. I guess I've never seen that before. So I just got the top case removed, and it looks like this machine comes with the hard drive screws as well as the brackets. The parts machine also had this bracket, just not the rubber screw mounts. I'm also going to have to do some research on the optical drives, though this one looks like it's a pretty high-end device, so that's pretty exciting. Hopefully it works. I've been having good luck with the vintage Mac optical drives lately. With any luck, this screen should just lift out. Oh. Figures we'd hit a snag along the way. I'll mention this machine came with 2 gigs of RAM. That was kind of nice. In addition, like I said, all of the screws. Something interesting about this machine is the Wi-Fi card in it is different from the one that this display came out of. Obviously there's a UFL connector under there, and I could probably just take the heat shrink off, but instead I'm going to keep everything as is and just replace the Wi-Fi cards. I also wanted to point out, look at this thing. What do you think that is? Obviously inductors, but what an interesting package. Here is the appropriate Wi-Fi card. I'm going to have to do some research on these before I close this thing up. I'll add it to the list with the optical drives. Everything looks good. I think I'm ready to put the top case back on. I've taken pictures of the optical drive and the Wi-Fi card. I'm going to be doing a lot of research on those later, and I'm also going to be keeping track of the serial numbers of these machines and just writing notes down of which screens are with which computer, etc. Things are mostly back together. A couple of gigs of RAM should do the trick. Now for the moment of truth. Oh wait, my phone charger is plugged in. Now that that's sorted out. Oh, that's kind of interesting. This machine's a little dirty, but it's overall in pretty good condition. I think there's a dent in this corner here, but it just needs to be cleaned, really. Well, I like what I'm seeing. I think at this point I'll try to get Snow Leopard on this machine. I decided I'd just use my existing one in target disk mode. I've got an 800 to 800 cable there. Well, I think that host name is slightly incorrect. I might need a new clock battery as well. I guess we'll see what happens there. I think that's going to do it for this video. I'd say this was a success. Thanks for watching, and look forward to some more.
Epilogue.
So I just finished the video where I replaced the screen on another 2008 MacBook Pro. That one was actually from 2007. This is my original. This is the one that I got the replacement battery for, and that battery still works decently well for being 7 or 8 years old now. Unfortunately, right as I finished that video, I went to install Snow Leopard off of the partition on this drive, and this happened. The poor thing. I have touted this MacBook Pro's reliability for a while, but it seems the logic board has finally given up. About a year ago, I actually had to do the old school reflow trick, which I know isn't the correct way, but it's the only way I have right now. So in doing so, one of the memory slots lost the ability to support 2 GB modules. I don't know how that works, but I've only been able to have 3 in this system ever since. And it's just been unhappy since that experience. So I wasn't expecting to do this, but I think today I'm also going to be replacing a logic board in one of these machines.